on goal was pinballed off of 2 Tampa. Tyler Toffoli, he's been kind of a ghost here lately. You would, I mean, he's
all right. So we're back. So you need to let us know if it's better, if you can.
Him to show up in
anyone
game
out
2.
there who might possibly be watching.
Around Shea Weber and Carey Price.
So now, did you log back in
to this
after I?
Going into game 2 and being embarrassed on SHOW in game 1? Montreal to come out a little bit quicker than they did in game 1.
No, Kyle Sullivan joining us here on the Rob Brown Show. Now, Kyle, I'll give you a stat that I just saw a little while ago and it kind of blew my mind, right? Best of 7 series in the Stanley Cup final, all-time record, 61-20. So 70+% of the time, the team wins the first game, wins the series. But
check 1 2. Can you get on the stream here?
8-6. Teams that take a 1-0 lead in a best of 7 series are 8-6. So it.
1 2.
Hello.
Am I going up and down? Check.
It's laid, but I'm seeing it.
Well, it should be because it's
going through. It's going through. Anything. La 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 la. So it's catching me.
Okay.
You're in utility. So say something again.
Something again. Something again. Something again.
Right,
something again. So we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which. So I didn't change it. All right, so Keegan thinks it's worse.
Don't be sorry. We're doing this. I mean, this experiment here.
How is it worse? I mean, what's happening? Is it?
Yeah, can you detail that for us, unofficial programmer?
Other than the fact that I'm on the left side and Rob's on the right, and that's just totally wrong. Thank you for fixing that. Now everything's
copier and visual is super
aligned now. So you didn't get what the joke was. Anyway, so I don't. So how's this computer worse? I got 5 minutes.
Okay. Maybe.
Injuries go by the wayside. You're going for the cup. That's what it's all about. And Kucherov is just showing he's built different, and he's going after the cup in a repeat fashion this year. So let me ask you about this from a hockey standpoint. The Swamp Rabbits a couple of weeks ago got screwed by the East, the home team play in a way series and ended up having to play. How important in hockey compared to, say, basketball, where you know that an emotional, energetic can really sway the game? The NFL the same way, college football maybe more than in the NHL. How important is home ice advantage when you've got the 2 best teams in hockey playing a best of 7? Well, this question is different for both teams. Tampa plays for their home game, so that arena is electric and through the bananas down there in Tampa Bay. When this series comes back to Montreal, there's some fear capacity. Yes, some fans do matter, especially playing most of these games regular season without fans. Montreal is still they're going to be at home. There's still going to be a huge disadvantage when it comes to crowd. They don't translate. They don't understand. There'll be more fans outside and inside, and Canada's kind of helped with keeping the cover numbers in check. So I think the fans is important, but Tampa Bay's going to have it wherever they're
He goes by Shaggy Bond. Do make sure you toss him a follow. One thing that I was listening to an interview earlier in the day, Kyle, and they were talking about the Canadians on the penalty kill. They had 31 consecutive power plays last night until Steven Stamkos sunk that power play goal late in the game. Now, in fairness, it was 4-1. At that point, there weren't but a couple of left. So,
Right, so two engineers are looking at it right now. That's fine. Which is usually the case.
I'm about to open on the laptop and watch it.
Well, I'm going to put this.
Anything can Montreal do to switch things up before game 2, prevent this same run late in the game from happening from the Lightning?
Robert brought it was a little spasmodic when you walked in the room, but that's the camera.
They actually have to try what they need to do.
They do have a new computer in here. They just have to find how to get it in.
And they felt it, and they believed in themselves.
So who knows, by Monday, we get back in here, or Tuesday, rather, you may have a new computer sitting over there.
I think dominant force. They're not here by fluke. Montreal deserves to be. Tampa Bay also realized who they are, and Montreal, once the game started slipping away, they just kind of played it safe and want to try again next game, and they can't keep doing that. They're running out of opportunities.
Al Sullivan joining us here on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. When you have a game that gets, you mentioned it a few minutes ago, gets a little chippy there at the end, obviously Tampa put in a handful of goals
so
very late.
Future, when you have a recorded interview, maybe get a picture of
players going down to the ice, getting skulls cracked open and blood flowing. You know, hockey is obviously known for having some violent intrinsic.
No, that,
that
would actually be cool for anybody we're
interviewing. When things get a little chippy like that, do you expect it to have an impact on the way that either or Montreal take to the ice for game 2?
It's score. I think a lot of that chippiness came out of frustration because Tampa Bay was automatic. I think Montreal was getting frustrated, just completely taken out of the game, and the chippiness and the after the whistle cranked up later into the game, and I think Montreal was getting. If it is one of those that it's down to the wire and it's 1-1 in the third period, I don't see it becoming that much of a physical game or after extracurriculars, because you don't want to be the reason that your
here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. All right, Kyle, let's go with this. What prediction did you make? And obviously didn't get a chance to catch up before we took to game 1 on Monday night. Game 2 this evening. What's your prediction for this series before game 1?
It could be audio level.
I will check.
But that means the audio level is fine as far as going out on air.
Tampa in 6, exactly the same pick I made. Though I got to tell you, Kyle, if Tampa comes out and they did in game 1, in game 2, if they have another 4-1, 5-2 style victory in tonight, Kyle, that might be a Lightning in 4. I mean, because again, going to have the home ice that Tampa is up there playing when they are the home side.
And
I've got to imagine that if Tampa comes out there and slugs Montreal, it might be over before it ever really gets started.
And the number of people
and
watching.
That game 2 does not
really
mirror
weird.
game 1, because I speak as a Colorado athlete. The last thing you want to do is be overconfident. Going to game 3, you have to try as hard because you're absolutely dominating this team, and that's what Montreal is waiting on, for you to open that door. And that's why I think this will be 4-6, is Tampa taking their foot off the gas and feeling like this repeat is going to be extremely easy to accomplish, and Montreal them taking their foot off the gas.
Kyle Sullivan, you can find him on Twitter at Pittsburgh Podcast. It is available on Spotify. Man, we'll get you back on Friday before we get game 3 underway, and we'll check you back. Love it. Kyle Sullivan. Join us right here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Quick break right after this. This is ESPN Upstate.
Also, those utility buttons sticking. Yeah. I don't know what everyone's expecting for us to have good audio.
What are we?
You just deal with what we deal with. I mean, you know, what's on the it's not about see look, the Wi-Fi thing's on there. You see it? It popped.
Yeah.
It popped off. It popped off as you walked around. So what? Isn't it funny? It's that old engineering thing. As soon as you walked around, it disappeared. I'm glad it popped back up.
Who? Oh.
Phone number for that, whatever that was. You don't want to look. You don't want to look.
It was Rob Brown that did that. Damn.
That was in my actual.
That's what he said. I wasn't paying attention. So. Why are you coming here causing trouble, Robert?
Yeah.
So, should we just go back to here? I hate to keep jumping in and out, though.
I'm getting frustrated.
You go for that because that's not. Oh,
I'll mute us both. nothing else, they'll
utility. They are looking at it.
well, I meant the people who
Right.
would.
See if you can save up to $1,000 a month by calling 866-781-8900. That's 866-781-8900.
You know, have confidence that everything's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Hey. 20 seconds.
The new Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie blizzard treat is here with a combination of soft baked Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie pieces and world-famous deep pizza. Each bite is a mouthful of soft baked cookie goodness. Sure to get you.
From Brown Lockdown on Twitter.
There's nothing to me quite as much as hypocrisy, right? You can change your opinion, you can change your mind, and I respect that. But I don't appreciate hypocrisy. Sports-centered topic of conversation, but Senator Tommy to try to kill off name, image, and likeness laws. Stephen Dennis is a reporter for Bloomberg, and he spent some time talking to Tuberville about his efforts to try to kill off NIL laws. Tuberville told Stephen Dennis that he is aware of impacts from paying players where they can make more money and involve agents, lawyers, etc. Which I find a ripping good time that many moons was a point in time where Tommy Tuberville was to move up in the NCAA coaching ranks. I believe, was he at Ole Miss? He said, and I quote, Lonzo, quote, they'll have Carey out of here in a pine. Direct quote from less than a week later. Less than a week. Recruiting. Telling kids, hey, I'm at Ole Miss for the long haul. I am here for the long haul. He gets up from a dinner with the recruit. And then the next day, it's announced that he was departing for Auburn to become the head coach for more money. Lonzo, I understand. I don't agree with, but I understand the premise of, oh, well, rich get richer. I appreciate it. When a guy like Tommy Tuberville is going to lecture the case study number one of a guy through his teeth in the process while doing it. At least the player be open and honest about it.
So you're saying he's speaking from experience.
Sure.
So if you speak from experience, maybe you know what you speak of.
I mean, technically you're right, which is that's kind of right. Technically, you're right. Their face. You'll have to carry me out of a pine box. And boost scooting out the next day. I haven't heard him say, I was wrong. It showed a lack of commitment. It showed a lack of courage. I regret. He said he regretted that decision. Never said he regretted that decision. regret it. He doesn't think it showed a lack of commitment. Oh, but rules for thee and not for me, says Tommy Tuberville.
I want to speak for everybody when you should have led with that. But, you know.
Oh, why would I do that? Why? Been armed with him. I don't have an issue with him being hypocrite about it. $1,000,000. My computer has because you know how that's all.
I can run to the office and grab a sheet.
No, I'll have it done by
I mean,
that
I can
point.
do that at 20 seconds.
Which I know you're a huge fan of.
It's all right. We're good. This is more important.
True. I want people to have their chance to win $1,000. Hang on here. I'll leave. So we'll have a keyword for people to win $1,000.
There it is.
Let's go. Oh, wait, no, close that out. This is just, we are just having a stellar hour. There's week 3. No, we're going to, is it week 3? It is. We'll sit it. The 30. The 1 o'clock hour word for today is race. Race. Text RCE to 7281. In what the word is to tell them to text down.
I don't think that's why that's happening. I think that's heard it on word and are texting it to the wrong place. Are they?
I just said ESPN. The word is.
Okay.
I keep trying to turn this computer to you. Like
I don't know. So they heard me say it because it's my voice on words saying the words. Because I'm everywhere. But yeah. Luckily, since there's no sports center there,
come in. Good to see you.
and
Struggle bus today.
everything's all right.
On the struggle bus today.
Personally, thought that whole thing was funny, but you know, what do I know?
We got about 30 seconds left or a minute.
You've got a minute. Hey, we apologize for the streaming problems. We were told to attempt something different, and we did. And just like with scientific experiments, they're experiments. So we're not going to say that the experiment is failed, but that the conditions were not right for the experiment to succeed.
They weren't controlled conditions.
But at least we're still on the air, as far as I know.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's our new minute right here on ESPN Upstate. 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, all around the world. Radio.com, no, Odyssey app, AUDACY. AUDACY. Pick that up. Make sure that you grab it. Not only do they now have the Rob Brown Show on a daily basis, but on top of that, they have built, this is actually really cool. It's like a lot. They have listener-built radio stations. When you need a little music, like Frankie, hard-driven alt-rock hits, the Juggernaut is good. App. Grab those listener-exclusive stations and keep yourself thoroughly entertained.
Man, what do you listen to? Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
You listen to Juggernaut. It's pretty to run through the wall.
Text the Eagles Market text line at 71307. 7307. Clip number 5. You have learned more information about the Portland Trailblazers hiring. The big discussion was the Blazers have Becky Hammon as the front runner for the job. And one of the things that I said is that if you are going to be the, you also want to make sure that she's the right one for the job. Well, Becky Hammon at the gig. We have some inside information on why. And instead, the Trailblazers is an interesting pick. Never been a head coach. Obviously had an extensive history of success in the league. A lot of people were very upset of Chauncey Billups because of the arrest that happened back in 1997 when Chauncey was accused of sexual assault. Back in 1997, Billups and fellow former Celtic Ron Mercer were assaulting a woman at the home of teammate Antoine Walker. According to a civil suit, Billups, Mercer, and Walker, not that one, assaulted the woman at Walker's condo after leaving the Boston Club the following day. Revealed injuries consistent with the victim's testimony. No criminal. Billups and Mercer settled a civil suit 3 years later. 2000. So it was, you passed on Becky for somebody who's never been coached before, despite Becky having a lot of respect around the league, and you passed on them all for a guy that a lot of folks feel has never really had to answer for the not criminal charges, but yesterday, Chauncey Billups and Neil Schley, who is the president of the Lookout. First clip we're going to hear is from Chauncey Billups himself and the way that he has decided to address those allegations against him after.
You know, with the team and me being the head coach, you know, I first want to talk about an incident that happened in 1997. You know, there's not a day that could have a profound impact on a person's life. At every decision, you know, every decision has consequences. With my wife, who was my girl, and my daughters, about what actually happened and about what they may have to read about me. This experience shaped my life in so many different ways. My decision, who I allow to be in my life, the friendships and the relationships I have and how I go about them that I make. You know, it really has.
So that's what some deep discussions with my then girlfriend now. What to address some stuff on its face. Neil of the press conference when called to the carpet about Chauncey Billups.
With Chauncey's support, his encouragement, we not only can the position, we also commissioned an independent investigation. The finding of that incident corroborated Chauncey's recollection. We stand by Chauncey, everyone in the organization, and believe he's the right choice to be our head coach and the right choice to be the kind of ambassador in the sport everybody here become accustomed to. Sincerity. We took the allegations very seriously, and we business partners, television networks, regional networks, positions with their organization. We wanted to make sure we had our own thorough process because something is bigger than basketball.
I've really had to deep dive into this for a handful of reasons. Number one, the first thing that I saw pop up anytime any sports media personality that I follow started talking about that was, do people not deserve a second chance? Do deserve a second chance? And, you know, I think the answer is if it is earned. And I think that it's that is built on second chances, without a doubt about it. It has been a long time since Chauncey went through all this, but the will have lifelong impacts on the people who are victims to them. And obviously there is a big spot yourself in when you are talking about allegations and not criminal. There's a line that you have to address there without a doubt. And they went through investigations and they invested and all of that. The thing that you're into is a lot of folks going, why would you have somebody and the answer is kind of somewhere in the middle. People getting the opportunity, their wrongs as a country. If you were a person who celebrated you're being hypocritical. You are but it's one that has to be addressed, especially when they're going, wait a minute, it's going to let these guys get a pass. Oops, never got charged with a criminal charge. He settled you accuser. Like I say yesterday, it must be real easier. But it doesn't change the fact that the Trailblazers, if you take them at their word, went through a full investigation. They can be an ambassador for better. For better. Portland Trailblazers as a whole. It's a tough, sticky situation. Deeper into it later on in the show. That apparently sports, and I don't know if I believe it or not, though I do want to examine it. Apparently, in the San Antonio basketball program, for her opportunity as a head coach in Portland, apparently negative reviews about her that eliminated her from contention. But coming up next, Brandon Fricky is the Greenville Triumph. He is coming up in the next segment on the Rob Show. This is ESPN Upstate. Spartanburg around the world on the Odyssey app to the phone lines at 1:20. We talk a little Greenville Triumph football with you, and this week we are joined by a backline defender for the Greenville Triumph, Mr. Brandon Fricke joins us here on the Rob Brown Show, and he has to say, Brandon, my man, an incredibly help June schedule. Have you caught back?
Thanks for having me, Rob. Yeah, I'd say we caught up. We had a game to kind of reset the buttons, and yeah, got back to training today. So back to work we go.
I love it. I love Brandon Fricke joining us here on the Rob Brown Show. Talk to me. It started back on the 13th of June. Had kind of a rough 0-3 outing on the losing. Then you play 3 days later. Then you play 3 days later. Then you play 4 days later. A very, very compact. I mean, that is just out of the norm for what you. What was it like knowing that you had that many games in that short of a time? And upstart squads who you know are going to give you the best since you are defending champs.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we knew it was going to be a tough stretch when we saw it on the schedule, and you know, it's always. Luckily, we have a pretty deep squad. You know, unfortunately, injury bug is kind of bit us. You know, and that made it more difficult along that stretch. But you know, our approach from the start of it was just kind of take a game by game. Yeah, we didn't start the best against North Texas, so you know, it was kind of reset against the next 4 games. And yeah, obviously, we like to have had some results, but I think the performances. You know, forward as we get guys back and you know have our depth, I think it really benefit us.
Rebound from those who lost to North Texas. Plus, flown around the world. That's one of the longer stretches of travel you guys have to go to. Days later, take on North Carolina FC. This is a team that is trying to make it. Which is not something you guys have really had to have.
And it's about that's the one that you don't really have later. So it's kind of nice in that sense that you can get those losses out of your head, and it, especially to our home fans. So I think we tried to ride kind of our energy and
as a defender for the Greenville Triumph, what lessons do you did you guys take away from that as we have now kind of pushed back towards the schedule?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously we games and we conceded early in a few of them, and that's something we want to try out, you know, for any team. you're always clawing back, and it takes a lot of, you know, both physical energy and mental energy. So I think if we can clean up defensively on that and be a little more clear cut starting games and get past, feel strong. You know, like we said, we showed a lot of grit and resilience. You know, fight to get, you know, multiple guys going, you know, on with a couple injuries, and just that guys playing in different positions, and you know, it showed a great mentality. You know, it's just about taking the lessons like that and pushing forward to hopefully be on the front foot and, you know, trying to go at teams rather than come back from poor results and, you know, giving up goals early and that kind of stuff. Can we be on the front foot? I think will really help forward.
Talk to me a little bit about that defense, about back line. I went back and I've rewatched a couple of the games specific. The one against North Texas on the road, and then the Menta. You guys as a back line really faced, I thought, kind of onslaught. I mean, almost it seemed like there was out of the ordinary. Plus is always kind of in the back, bark out, call it out signals. But was that a stamina issue having so many games in so many days? Have you guys been taking?
And it's really that 1%. Other as a group are doing 99% of the work, and unfortunately, we just got to do that last 1% all over the pitch and definitely at the back. And it starts with a lot of responsibility there, so we can be better there with sorting out problems. It's just about really getting down to basics and getting down to the gritty, you know, in small groups, and then it trickles down to the whole team. You know, organizationally, we want to tidy a few things up, of course, you know, and be proactive, and then, you know, really just take pride in your going to battles and, you know, seeing it as just you, it's a fight, and I'm going to do everything I can to win. And I think we.
All right, tough question. Going to put you on the spot here, Brendan. But you got. Do you personally blame on Dallas getting a haircut? And be honest.
Yeah, the flow all over, and we weren't conceding as much. So, you know, I think yeah, obviously, it's great to have. And hopefully we get him right, and maybe he'll start his hair back out. I think he's already done back on his arm, even though he doesn't need him anymore. I think again, but that's all good. I'll give him a bit of crap for it. Oh, comes with the territory, I guess.
Brendan Fricky plays defense. Half question, but obviously anybody who's been following knows that injury. Having such a compact month of June, we've seen Don have to miss a game. Closer to getting back to a full roster and getting those back on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys are working every day. Medical and just trying to get those guys back, and I'm good ones because you can feel like you're back, and then maybe you're coming back wins, or you know, everyone's being really, you know, diligent, and that one that got back, they're actually ready to play, and it's not. I'm trying to be smart about that, and we'll fight through it until everyone's back. And as you know, once we get back to full strength, we have a very deep team. So I'm with you. Sooner rather than later is the hope, and guys, just keep. I think we'll be on the right track here.
All right, so we're getting set. We got a New England Revolution 2 on the 4th of July. For that game, again, we know that you probably the training schedules all for a match on the road on the 4th.
Yeah. I focus on ourselves first and foremost and just getting our rhythm back. Just getting back to the basics of it. We'll look at New England and what they're exposed here in a couple of days. They're a good team, to be honest, and have a lot of individual players. What's given us so much success over the last year, and that's what I said earlier, the basics of defending, organizing as a group. So kind of our goal is just to get back to, together we triumph. That's where we're at.
Brandon Frick, Green Triumph, joining us here. Brown. This year, obviously, last year's season was interesting. No fans for the first half of the season. Back half limited, but we're just kind of get back to normal. Legacy early. I've been in the and there's an energy, there's an electricity, at least from the support. It makes the stadium come alive a little bit from a player perspective for those matches. Back home at Legacy early, knowing that you were tired. Full and max volume to have you guys back.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like when the team is going for energy, Brad and the right supporter section have been great. To really give us extra boost. Like you said, this year was tough at times with close to empty stadiums, and it makes it more enjoyable for us. It's what makes the game for us. It makes it enjoyable and exciting, and to have the oohs and ahs and the clapping and the energy behind down in the dunkley or a little bit and push you on to maybe get that goal, get that extra run. So I give our front a lot of credit to out there, and then the fans themselves obviously have been fantastic. So we're hoping to give them some more gifts here in the months to come and keep them coming out.
Love to hear it. Brandon Fricky, defending undisputed USL League champion Green. I appreciate the time, brother. Good luck to you guys on the road. We'll be watching and looking forward to getting back. Always my pleasure to talk some Greenville Triumph football with interesting game last night. Giannis goes his two names benched and a preview of his Suns on the road. Can they close out? If they don't, there will be problems in Phoenix. Break that down next.
loaded with chunks of chocolate cream. Say thanks. You're more than welcome.
So your your camera froze. So you sat down, and then you had a flash moment where you just like, and then you were just there.
That
Sex life and our marriage.
Start your free online visit. forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/FORIMS.com/JOY. Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast. Your new favorite one. How do we do it? Things are old breakfast wasn't good. So toss that old news and soggy eggs somewhere peaceful and gets away. With a sausage croissant, bacon, egg and Swiss croissant, and
I get it fixed tomorrow. We'll go back to that computer over there since it was better than this. And then Friday, well, we know what we're doing Friday, so. Ask about in-studio guests. Which makes
Bria's fashion boutique is the worst. First they asked me if I needed help finding anything. I'll just
I work for your small online retailers will find something to complain about. And one person can save you from these trolls. We can help you save money on commercial.
NXT.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Were you surprised by the ending? Do what now? Oh, okay.
Blend mode.
Then Alan. Backstage a bunch and did some dark matches
I
on.
suspect he loses it. But that just, why would you do it on? Do a send-off match, unless that was a send-off match. But again, I would do that way. I say, I don't know if it's over, something's missing. No football on TV today. No soccer. As we are off until the quarterfinals start on Friday. A couple days off for the boys. Which
I felt it.
I know you could. Oh, Zoe was like, I mean, he's all in on the Tour de France. Sincere question. Yesterday afternoon, I was hosting trivia game. And there was a gentleman there and his wife, and we were talking about Sign Girl, who I think has been found, by the way, or Sound Guy. I think it's a guy, right? To determine that it's a guy. And I think it is. Either way, we got to talking about it. I was making impressive. Is it? How impressive is that? The Super Bowl of bike racing could be completely derailed by a cardboard sign, right? Like and anyway, we got to talking about it, and listening right now, I don't know, gentleman who comes on Tuesdays when I host my game. He comes and says, he's like, yeah, I was mad because so-and-so was in like 6, moving up. And I'm like, wait. You follow a professional in
discussing this, and someone on the text line or message said because of how many bikers have been in this area. And there was some time, and I don't know if it's still going on, we had people who were racing this race every time.
Yeah, I mean, look, during the so I guess, yeah, all the races. Lonzo, can you name me any bike race that's not the Tour de France? And I'm asking this, I'll watch about it. Matthew van der Poel from the Netherlands right now. Big fan of Matthew van der Poel.
He takes the boss. But mostly we'll see
more eyes on the Tour de France than or so.
So, I mean, it's just a win.
She got more eyes on the Tour de France than in fact, and here's don't get into is lacrosse. I'll do anything else that's a health competition. I got Wimbledon on right now. Sign Girl wiped out half the field. So I saw the footage before, and I'm like, what bike race is this? Oh, it's only the Super Bowl of bike racing. It's held by a 5'3" European woman. And that was the biggest story of the event. Do you imagine if the Super Bowl was from a streaker than the game? I don't. That was third yellow jersey. All right. But is it something put on from now on? I don't know, man. I don't know. 844 GS ESPN 844-477-3776. I am going to break the down. QC Kinetics to be able to live your day-to-day normally, without waking up and going, I don't want to move those boxes. My knees are going to flare up afterwards. My elbows are going to hurt. They know you have stuff to do, and they know that chronic joint pain can make it that much more difficult to do those things. They know. That's why they're here to help. Go to QC Kinetics. It is not surgery. You don't have to get sliced and diced and put under. It orthobiologic, regenerative, non-surgery that you receive in an outpatient fashion. You go in, you meet with Dr. Schaefer, MD, you receive the treatment, you leave, and it helps to regrow, it helps you heal the connective tissues that wear down over time, and it help you like it's helped dozens and dozens and dozens and of other satisfied QC Kinetics patients. Hear their testimony, read the science at qckinetics.com, qckinetics.com, or give them a buzz right now at 864-4772. Mention the Rob Brown Show. Get that first consultation for free. 864-448-3772 is the number. It's our friends at QC Kinetics right here in Greenville. It's all good. I set you up to fail on that one. That's my fault.
Meteorologist Jennifer cheats the state. Currently it's 88.
Think there's a T-Rex on the list?
I think furniture is being moved.
That is the moral conclusion.
And some of the moving that might be sleight of build.
Sleight of build.
Just a little bit.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You can save tons on your bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Internet.
because of who it was, figured there was not like anyone's watching right now anyway, but 1 minute.
Momentum is how we change the game. And now it's time to discover contagious. Good news, more drink.
Support is sponsored by Espresso.com. Now the time to get a new job. Whoever charges job seekers a fee, and it's more than 5,000 jobs. Application review is Espresso.com or on the Express Job App.
So this obviously a spinoff of Black Betty from Ram Jam, which, Alonzo, you didn't know this. What's on for you? What a Ram Blam. Anyway.
Why was it the theme? Just because you liked the song?
No,
or?
it was the theme of the show of the guy that went to jail that I took over for.
Okay.
No bitterness there. And now we have a theme song, so I got stuck with that. The theme to my second show was "Show" by AC/DC, which is much more fitting. If you don't mind, Alonzo, last night Hawks, Bucks, Trey out. Giannis leaves with a hyper knee, and despite
suffered by Giannis. Atlanta. The series is all even at 2 apiece.
We're headed back to Milwaukee for Game 5. Do not know after hyperextending his number 4, you don't mind, Lonzo, sounded like this.
And it looks like it's Giannis grabbing that. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. There was a lot of contact on the alley. This is something you absolutely don't want to see. Oh, you can see the hyperextension. Yeah. Oh, man. Can't even look at it. No. I mean,
he's in the locker room with the guys and just address the group and want to speak for him. I know just historically it's impossible to keep keep him away from his teammates, keep him away from his team. So my guess is he, trying to play, and if not, let his teammates know that he's there for him. We'll take it, and we've got a heck of a team, a heck of a roster. The guys will be ready to compete and play. That's what it's about. And so, we got a Game 5. We'll prepare. We'll get ready. The guys love competing. They love playing. That's what it's all about.
Guys get a chance to step up. Guys get a chance to make big plays and on the bigger stage. I feel like us playing without him has given us some of them, and that's what it's like. Make some adjustments that will be made. But at the end of the day,
of course you would, Drew Holiday. Of course you would. That was and Drew Holiday starting point guard, both responding to the knee injury. don't know the extent of that injury. We don't know if Giannis will or will not be available tomorrow. Milwaukee home for game number that the Hawks were done, which down. I had to tell you, though, why, or excuse me, the Bucks were down and the Hawks were better. The Hawks looked like a good team without Trae Young last night. They did. Lemon Pepper Lou was playing point exceptionally well. They were rotating the ball through the paint well. Rangers to kind of make the defense expand. The Hawks look like a good 3, not in the least. So they split 1-1 in the first two at Milwaukee. They split 1 in Atlanta. And now we head back to game 5. Still waiting on an update from Trae available. Same with Giannis. The Hawks money line in the next game. Love it, hate it. Should I hedge bet? I'll talk to you. But before we do, let's try to win you a grand in the 1,000. Stuck upward to 72881. 72881. You, this is ESPN Upstate.
Odyssey Station.
Upstate Sports Center updates powered by the Score. Rays baseball, they lose. Charlie Hornet had pitched 20 2/3 scoreless innings before getting a 3-run home run during a 4-run 7th inning.
Schaefer and D, you received the treatment.
Does hit a home run in the contest, but it's not enough for the teams are back. Next Braves missed 1 start with a first run in Index Bank. We will make the start tonight. Will be hosted by David Peterson. Okay, lightning fast sports alerts. North America's most popular sports apps. Mr. Ian.
Conspiracy theorists on this. Oh, do we have the music? The NBA bets. Cancel Chris Paul bets. Knowing that Kawhi Leonard was unavailable. The NBA forced Chris Paul bets to sit out game only to play the Clippers a chance. Glaive.
Joker sequel will reportedly introduce the real Joker.
No Joker?
No, Joaquin Phoenix. But yeah, close.
I'm an idiot.
So, I mean, they deal with a bunch of rumors anyway. So.
Oh, I didn't.
Could get us in trouble.
I'm thoroughly embarrassed. Today's one of those days just needs to end so I can come back and try harder.
We got another hour.
You ever needed a day just so you can try harder tomorrow? Like, I know sometimes I jokingly end the show by saying we'll try harder tomorrow, but I promise I will. The correct 2 o'clock keyword for today is line, L-I-N-E, line. L-I. I wonder why, what reason stunt. Didn't we just do stunt like yesterday? It's line, L-I-N-E. You're going to text line, L-I-N-E, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 and the $1,000 cash dash on the ESPN Upstate. Line, L-I-N-E.
Tomorrow, I can print them out and put them in really large font and put them across the glass for you.
Or I could literally just look at the giant June 30th. That's right next to the list of words I'm supposed to be reading today, which is Check's calendar, June 30th. You dummy. Anyway, line, L-I-N-E. Text that to 728 for your chance to win $1,000 and the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Update. All right. Let's finish up talking a little bit about the NBA. Give me a clip. So the Suns at home in game 5. So now we're headed back to playing exceptionally good basketball. DeAndre Ayton was removed from the last game. They'll try to do that again, I assume. Game 6 of ESPN, who has become one of my favorite analysts.
Opportunity to close out a home up 3-1. You got to do that, especially with this young ball club. I'm kind of scared for the Phoenix Suns. Although I picked them to win the series, the Clippers came out with I'm grown man mentality. The way that Marcus Morris approached the game, he was getting buckets, taking them to the low block, turnarounds over the right and left. George elevated his game on the floor, being a monster on the glass, and also dropping the 40-piece, 41. Patrick Beverly, look, I get it, right? You had a pretty good game in game 5, but Patrick Beverly is not going anywhere. He's first team all defense so loud. I'm listening through the TV. I got to put earplugs in my ear. Okay? And it's just not going to stop. And what's happening and I don't know if Phoenix can figure it out. They went with Ty Lue, the history of Ty Lue, him making a afraid for the Phoenix Suns.
Yep. Something out. They figured it out. Paul George has figured it out. They figured out what it was that they needed to do. One of the things that was happening in the first 3 games was that the Clippers defense was really compacted. Free-throw line and extended. And so CP3 command double team, give it to Book and Book would score. Give it to Ayton, came out to help, and Ayton would turn in dunk. Or if nobody did, and then the Clippers put something out. If you just have one man ISO on DeAndre Ayton, magnificent touch when receiving the basketball. He had a hand because when Boogie had him locked down one-on-one, he ended up in a spot where he just could not hang on. Stone hands, my man. So the stone hands get him, and what it does is zone, which they here and there, it allows the defense outwards. We're not going to let CP3 pull up on the mid-range jumpers. It's easy for him to distribute opportunities. We're going to make them work. And the Suns did not respond. Now, maybe Monty Williams is going to have that team with a different plan today. I love me some CP3. Paul. But Chris Paul's game effectively drive, penetrate, mid-range jumper, or kick out to the wings for Devin Book. The Clippers took that away from him. And I wonder how much of the sluggishness out of CP3 comes from extended coronavirus. The last couple of games against the Clippers. Remarkably. Free throw line extended and find or take a jumper. The Clips effectively defense collapses. I need you to finish the penetration. CP3 to Ayton tonight needs to come after the big and opens up a quick passing lane, a little dish. The Suns do that, they might be okay. But I go ahead and call it, which doesn't mean anything, Zoe, because I have been like 80% wrong in these playoffs so far. If the Suns do him tonight and the Suns win Clips in 7.
You know, this is a classic case. We see this happen. They get up by, a couple games and think coasting, we're done. They come in with low energy. They come in without a game, or they don't pay attention to the game plan that the coach set up. That fire is lit beneath them. If the veterans can make it do this, we're going to win this game and we'll move on to the final. And I think they will. I actually do. I'm not. They're going to play better. They're going to have a better game plan. And if you would have said the other, I would have went the opposite.
$1 by betting the opposite of what I say on the air. Yep. Texter said, Rob, I'm live with a few too many beers in my system and instantly put a hundo on the Hawk game. Love it, hate it, should I hedge bet? I don't know, Texter. I think you probably, here's the thing. You want to take the risk, right? Because money like is going to be much more back changes up, so you bought yourself a little leeway there. With Trae Young, if we just one, if Giannis was maybe out, but Trae was good, I think you might be okay. The Hawks. But if Trae was out, maybe the money line's good. You take the bet that Trae will make it back with a big Milwaukee blow, with both of them maybe out. I don't know. Of Trae's back and Giannis is back. Trae's back, but Giannis isn't back. Trae's not back, but Giannis is back. Or Trae and Giannis neither are back. I don't know which one you're going to get. I think I will pay close attention if I were you to the Hawks and Bucks beat writer, both the ones that will drop the info the fastest. Even if here's the problem with a deep bone bruise. There he has. A deep bruise does heal in 2 days. The pain of that, the discomfort of that, stays with you. Feel better. You're to the point where you can go back to using that ankle. You get back where you can go back to using on, running on, cutting on the ankle. But still hurts. And the pain of it will throw your game, and I suspect to some degree that Trae. I don't love it. I don't love Atlanta money line, but I don't hate it. I might hedge up Milwaukee depending on where you can get it. All right, 844-477-3776, 844 GSP. When we come back, baseball. We did a baseball thing, and the audio's hilarious. Is ESPN Upstate.